Banks make money. They're in business like anybody else. And they try to keep you on as a client as much as possible. So when you have hurdles or bumps, you always want to communicate that with a bank because they'll be looking for ways to help you get through those hurdles.
My guest now is none other than Simeon Friedman. And of course, this event, the background noise that you hear, is because we're coming to you from an event at Glatt à la carte, brought to you by Investors Bank, Saul Friedman Company, and we have the principal, Simeon Friedman, with me. Simeon, thank you for joining me here again on Mind Your Business.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, education-based marketing is what it's all about, and you provide so much education in previous shows, and thank you for joining me on them. We're here at this event tonight, and you spoke about understanding the bank's perspective. So walk us through that a little bit. Why is it, so important for a business to think, hey, what's the bank going to think when they look at my business and they want to do business with me? Walk us through understanding the bank's perspective of a small business, medium-sized business.
Part of what we do and part of what we pride ourselves with is educating our clients. Obviously, most of my clients have to deal with banks. They rely on their financing. So as part of that education process, we mitigate expectations, which is clients have to understand the bank's perspective when it comes to financing. Mm-hmm. Clients have to understand what banks look for. Clients have to understand what it means reporting to a bank, adhering to their regulations, or being in compliance with their financial covenants, etc. Mm-hmm. Part of that is guiding our clients so that they understand what the bank actually needs, the purpose and why the bank requires what they require. We like to say the banks are not the boogeyman. They're in business like anybody else. Just like you have customers and you want to satisfy the customers, the banks are there to satisfy their customers. And obviously they want to do as much as they can with you so that they can end up making money. Banks make money. They're in business like anybody else. And they try to keep you on as a client as much as possible. So when you have hurdles or bumps, you always want to communicate that with a bank because they'll be looking for ways to help you get through those hurdles. The lack of communication, can hurt you. Just as infants or children are scared of the dark, banks are scared of surprises. You don't want to surprise your bank. You want to make sure they know beforehand what's going on. So communication is key because regardless of what you think, you may think the bank will just, they'll just terminate the relationship. That's not necessarily the case. Many times banks are in there to look for ways to salvage or rectify the issue that you find yourself in.
Let's talk about your firm just in a general way. 46 years was started by your dad, Saul Friedman, of course, who leads Saul Friedman Company. You're marching in on a half a century of service.
Yeah.
I mean, how does like half a decade? What half a decade?
Yeah.
Half a century of service. How does it feel? And now you're taking, you're leading the company.
Well, I remember joining the firm, which was 18 years ago, pretty much, in
Wow.
September now. So I remember it was a week before September 11th. So time does fly. Thankfully, our firm grew organically, and many of our clients became more and more successful. So we were able to do more for them. And obviously, there is a new generation. My dad, he has many of his clients that he's engaged 10 years into his practice that are still clients today, but there is a new generation, and my job is to cultivate that clientele, and they have more of a they can identify themselves more with myself than my dad because of the generational issues, but there is a lot to offer, and as technology changes, the methodology and how you provide service to the client changes as well, and you have to keep up with that as well. It's a fast pace. A lot of things are changing, a lot more tax focus and things like that. But there's a lot to do, and we're excited about it. And at the end of the day, we're just looking out for our client throughout the whole year, make sure that they get what they need.
I'll tell you what I was most impressed by when you had your special celebration a number of years ago when you moved into your beautiful new facility, your new building. There were some businesses there that had been with you since the founding of the company.
Correct.
I mean, you have clients that are with you for over 40 years.
Correct. And what's sweet about that is that many of those businesses are sort of second generational now, which means that they have their children that are running their business. So it's a good fit. In other words, if we've done well with our clients, and I've always been there for them. Many of their children only know us, and getting them to trust us as much and continuing the relationship is a benefit for both sides.
Simeon, thank you for joining me here on Mind Your Business.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Yitzchok.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.